let's find the sine and the cosine. Same thing with the tangent of angle A. So take note, we will put ourselves again. We stand at angle A, and let's identify the different positions there. What is the hypotenuse here? What is the hypotenuse in our problem, in our figure?
24.5.
Okay, this is our hypotenuse. That's 24.5. What about the adjacent side?
23.
This is the adjacent side, 23.1. What's the opposite side over here?
8.2.
8.2 is the opposite side. So using the different formulas, let's begin first with sine. Opposite over hypotenuse. So what will be your ratio? What is the opposite side and what is the hypotenuse? What will you divide?
8.2 divided by 20.
Okay, and how much is that? What's 8.2 divided by 24.5?
0.26.
4 decimal places again if you have...
7 to
Okay.
6, 5.
Point... Is this the answer? 0.334547?
Yes, sir.
Okay, there you have it. Let's go to sine or cosine A. Cosine A, that's adjacent over hypotenuse. So what will you write over here? What are you going to divide? Adjacent is 23.1 divided by the hypotenuse, that's 24.5. And how much is 23.1 divided by 24.5?
0.9429, sir.
0.9429. And lastly, let's have tangent A. What is opposite? How much is the opposite side? Again, how much is the opposite side?
8.2.
8.2. What about the
8.2,
adjacent side? What about the adjacent side?
23.1.
So you divide the two, how much do you get? How much do you get when you divide 8.2 by 23.1?
0.35.
549, sir.
Okay, that's 3,550. I get that. Okay. Now, finding a side this time, figuring out which ratio to use and getting to use trig bottom. Okay, let's have this one. You are given 20, you are given 55 degrees, and you are given x. Find out which ratio to use and you find x. Now, with reference to this angle, what is 20 and what is x? So with reference to 55 degrees, what is 20 meters here? Is it
Adjacent, sir.
adjacent? That's adjacent. And what is x here?
The opposite.
The opposite side. So what function are you going to use? Are you going to use sine, cosine, or tangent?
Tangent, sir.
You will be using tangent in this case, right? You will be using tangent in this case because you are given opposite and adjacent. So tangent 55 is equal to opposite, which is x, divided by the adjacent, which is 20. And solving for x, I will be multiplying 20 to both sides. So multiply 20 over here, multiply 20 over here. Now use your calculator, please. 20 times tangent 55 is how much? Please use your calculators. How much is 20 times tangent 55?
28.2.
And nearest tenth. When you say nearest tenth, how many decimal numbers will there be? Tenth.
One, sir. Ganun.
One decimal number only. So round off to one decimal number. What's your final answer here?
28.6.
28.6. There you go. Okay? Let's have another problem. Over here, find the missing side. So with respect to the angle 72, what is 80?
Opposite, sir.
Opposite again. And what is x?
Adjacent.
Adjacent again. Okay? So what function are we going to use? Are we going to use sine, cosine, or tangent?
Tangent. Yakon, sir.
Tangent gihapon atong gamiton kay opposite o adjacent. So 80 over x. This time, we are going to be solving for x. Ang x nasa ubos. Unsa may buhaton na ako ani class? Multiply kog x dire, multiply kog x dire. Then I will divide this by tangent 72. I will divide this by tangent 72 para makancel na ko ang x, makancel na ko ang tangent 72. So x is simply equal to 80 over tangent 72. So what is 80 divided by tangent 72? Sorry. Nearest tenth again, nearest tenth. How much? Unsay nasa calculator ni Gawas? 25 points. Sige, you tell me.
9935.7.
9935. Okay. I-round off man nato sa nearest tenth. Kini. Yeah, ang sunod is 9. More than 5. So, plus 1 ka diri. Kung mag-plus 1 ko diri, what will happen here?
26.
Okay, there you go. 26 feet. 26 feet. Okay?
Okay.
Let's have another problem. This one over here. Find the missing side. So, with respect to 24, put yourself sa 24. Unsa man ni si x?
Opposite, sir.
Opposite, sir. Kalimti na sa x, sir, and then baliki, sir. But we need to because this is very important in our problem. What about 283? What is 283 this time?
Hypotenuse.
Hypotenuse. There you go. And what function are you going to use now?
Sine, sir.
Sine, because you are having opposite and hypotenuse. So sine 24 is equal to x over 283. Multiplying both sides by 283, you will get that. And how much is 283 times sine 24? Is it this value? Kindly verify using your calculators. Is it 115.1?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is. It's 115.1 meters. Let's have another problem. Let's have this one. Again, you put yourself in the reference angle. That will be 40 degrees. And then, locate. Unsa maning x? What is
Adjacent.
adjacent? Adjacent ning x. What is 20?
Hypotenuse.
And what function are you gonna use over here?
Cosine.
Cosine. So cosine 40 is equal to x adjacent over the hypotenuse 20. Multiplying both sides by 20, you will get x is equal to 20 cosine 40. Calculate this, please. How much is 20 times cosine 40?
15.3.
15.3 feet for this. Okay? Let's have finding an angle. Again, finding an angle. Let's have this one. What is the measure of angle theta there? Given that we have 17.2 and 9 point there, 9. So with reference to angle A, take note. Again, place yourself again in the angle. Unsa maning 17.2? with respect to the theta?
Opposite.
Opposite. What about 9?
Adjacent.
Adjacent. And what is the function that you're gonna use? Is it sine, cosine, or tangent?
Tangent.
So tangent theta is equal to 17.2 all over 9. So what are you gonna do over here? Take note, your calculator should be in degree mode, not in radian. Okay? See to it that your calculator is in degree mode. So to calculate this, you click second function, you click tangent, then parenthesis, 17.2 divided by 9, close parenthesis, equal to. How much is the answer? You click second function, that's second, or shift for some calculators. Click tangent, ang mugawa sa calculator, yes, shift ang uban ana or second function. Ang mugawa sa calculator ay tangent -1. Then, put a parenthesis, 17.2 divided by 9, close parenthesis, equal to. How much is the answer?
$62.4.
In 4 decimal places, is it 62.3789?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it's stated man here 4 decimal places. Let's just follow that. Okay? Let's have another problem. This one. Find theta and 3 decimal places. Ang answer nato. So with respect to this angle over here, what is 7?
Adjacent.
Adjacent. Okay. And what is 23?
Hypo.
Hypotenuse. Now, what function are you going to use? Sine, cosine, or tangent?
Cosine. Theta.
Cosine, because adjacent hypotenuse na. So, cosine theta is equal to 7 divided by 23. Use your calculator now. Second function or shift, cosine, then parenthesis, 7 divided by 23, close parenthesis. What is that equal to in 3 decimal places?
72.281.
72.281. That's totally right. So this will be our theta. That's the measurement of the angle. Let's have another one. Find the theta, 3 decimal places again. With respect to this angle over here, is it sine is equal to 200 over 400? Is this correct? Why make use of sine? What is 200 here?
Opposite.
Opposite. What is 400? Hypotenuse. Now, is this right? Am I using the right Trigo function?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I am using the correct Trigo function, which is sine. So, sine theta equals opposite 200 divided by hypotenuse 400. Now, using your calculator, please solve sine, then, second function or shift, then sine 200 divided by 400, close parenthesis,
30.
How much? Yes, go on.
30, sir.
30. 30 degrees is the answer. That's totally right. Okay? Now, let's have... When we try to find a side, we use sine, cosine, or tangent. When we are trying to use an angle or find an angle, we should be using sine -1, sine cosine -1, and tangent raised to -1. So those are 2 important things that we need to remember all the time. Let's have the angle of elevation and depression. We will be focusing on problem solving right now. So,
Ay, excuse me, sir.
yes, go on.
Ay, okay ra eh. Back gamay, sir.
Yes, where?
Wala na. Akala ay screenshot. Sir,
That
kana.
one. Okay, sige, go.
Thank you, sir. Okay na, sir.
Okay now. Let's continue. This time, let's have angles of elevation and angles of depression. So you're very familiar with this already. This is a mere review. Let's start with this one. So this is very, very important sa angle of elevation and depression. Let's identify the pairs of alternate interior angles. So when I say alternate interior angles, if this is your parallel lines, kining sulod ana mo na interior side. Mo na interior. When I choose the angle 2, alternate meaning ang kaparis ana sa pika side, which is 7. So kining 2 ug 7 are alternate interior angles. The same thing with 6 and 3, they are also alternate interior angles. And take note, if number 2 is 30 degrees, number 7 is also 30 degrees. The same na silang measurement ang alternate interior angles. Remember that all the time because we will be using that concept later on. Again, alternate interior angles are always equal. So we will proceed to our next problem now. So let's just skip that. Let's go here. An angle of elevation is the angle formed by a horizontal line and a line of sight to a point above the line. In the diagram, for example, if I'm gonna have this diagram over here, sa next page ni ang diagram. In the diagram, let's have this diagram. There you go. Angle 1 is the angle of elevation from tower A to the plane P. So take note, this is the line of sight. This one over here, the angle of elevation is always above the line of sight. So mo na pasabot sa angle of elevation. When I talk about angle of depression, let's have the definition. An angle formed by a horizontal line, the line of sight, to a point below the line. So meaning, angle 2 is the angle of depression. This is the horizontal line. This is the line of sight. Take note, the line of sight is below the horizontal line. Okay? So that will be our reference now. For angle of elevation, this is the line, the horizontal line, the line of sight, it's above the horizontal line. Anyways, kanang 1 ug 2, kung ang measure ani niya sir 40 degrees, ang measure pod ana niya 40 degrees pod. Anyway, they are just the same. Here's our second problem. Asa man ang angle of elevation ani nila? Asa ang angle of elevation? With reference to this person. Ang person man, nasa gitanaw padung sa babaw, dire, nasa siya gitanaw padung sa ubos. Where is the angle of elevation? Is it 1, 2, 3, or 4?
2.
It's angle 2. This is the angle of elevation. Okay? This is the angle of elevation. What is the angle of depression? Where's the angle of depression? Again, with reference to the person.
1.
Angle of depression. From this person going down to the bottom part of the tree. Where is the angle of depression?
4.
Is it angle 4 or angle 3? Okay, this is the angle of depression. Okay, pero kining angle 1 ug angle 2 kini siya if 30 degrees ni kining angle 2 30 degrees pod ni siya. Kung ang angle 3 nimo kay 20 degrees ni siya, kining angle 4 nimo 20 degrees pod ni siya. Okay, so just take note of that concept. Let's have another problem. Let's have another figure over here. Where is the angle of elevation? Is it 3, 4, 5, or 6? It's angle 4. This is the elevation problem. The elevation angle of elevation. And take note, kanang 4 o kanang 3, they have the same measure. Kini siya o kaning angle are congruent. Okay? Where is the angle of depression?
5, sir.
It's angle 5. So, kining angle 5, unya ka ng angle 5 o angle 6, parihas po dag measurement. Okay? So take note of that. We will be using this concept later on. Let's have our first problem. A woman is standing on the ground at the point 78 feet from the base of a building. The elevation to the top of the building is 57 degrees. To the nearest foot, how high is the building? For example, we have a building here. Pasensya na, kay di ko kabaw mo drawing. Nanakoy, babay, nga nagbarog dire. Mo ni akong babay. Now, asa ang 78 feet? Asa na ko ibutang si 78 feet? Kaya naman ko'y ma-form nga triangle ani class. Kini siya. Mao man ni akong triangle mahimo. So, is it, akong panganlan ha, butangan na kog A, butangan na kog B, butangan na kog C. Para you tell me, asa na ako ibutang si 78? Look at the problem. A woman is standing on the ground at a point 78 feet from the base of the building. 78 feet from the base of the building. Asa ibutang si 78?
A, sir.
Sa A. Very good. Kay ang 78 feet, gikan sa base sa building, padung anang gitindugan sa babay, 78 feet man. Now, the angle of elevation to the top of the building is 57 degrees. Asa si angle of elevation? Is it
C.
this angle? Panganlan ko ni A ha? Or this angle here? Asang 57 degrees? B. That's totally right. Mauni 57 degrees. Let me draw the triangle again. Sir, naadiri si 78, naadiri si 57 degrees. Now, to the nearest foot, ang gipangita nato ang height sa building which is X. So, kini siya X. Okay, let's identify now. What is X with reference to 57? Opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse.
Opposite.
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 What is 78?
Adjacent.
Adjacent. So what function are you going to use?
Tangent.
Tangent. So tangent 57 is equal to opposite X over adjacent 78. Multiplying both sides by 78, you will get 78 tangent 57. And what is 78 times tangent 57? Nearest foot, meaning nearest ones place. Whole number ang answer, ane.
120.
121. 120.
Pila man jud? Pila may nigawa sa calculator?
120.1.
120.1 ang nigawa sa calculator?
Taas pa.
094672.
Unsay nigawa sa calculator? 120 point?
120.109467.
120.10. Ingani. Is this the one that came out in your calculator? Class, please.
Yes, sir. Mana.
Okay, so pila may answer ninyo, i-round off ninyo ang 0, unsa may sunod sa 0, 1. I-add, mag-add 1 ko, remain the same ang 0.
120 agapon, sir.
120 gihapon. That's the answer, 120 feet. This will be the height of the building. Okay? Let's have another problem. The sun shines on a flagpole, causing a shadow to be cast on the ground. So meaning natay flagpole dire over here, and then naay shadow ang flagpole. Example, mao ni shadow sa flagpole on the ground. The distance from the base of the pole to the tip of the shadow, again, the distance from the base of the pole, asang base sa pole? Kini, di ba? This is the base of the pole, right? to
sir.
the tip of the shadow. So how long is this?
49.
49. At that time, the sun shines, or the sun rays mark an angle of 38 degrees with the ground. So asa maning 38 degrees na ko ibutang class. So let's make a right triangle here. Where are you gonna put 38 degrees?
Sa babaw, sir.
Is it over awaha? 38 degrees with the ground. Is it this angle, angle A, or is it angle B? Asa ibutang si 38?
B.
Okay. Tanawan ninyo, dili ko mubutang og 38 diri sa A. I'll be putting 38 over here because it's stated with the ground. Okay? So, solving this problem, atong i-draw balik para mas klaro, this is 38, this is 49. And we are looking for the height of the flagpole again. So, the XO is over here. Based on this, unsa nga function ang gamiton? Y tangent. Y tangent.
May opposite o adjacent.
Okay, opposite sir si X, adjacent sir si 49. So we have X, opposite, adjacent 49. So what is 49 times tangent 38? Use your calculator, please.
39 feet.
How much? Ato i-round off to the nearest whole number. How much? 39?
38, sir.
38. Feet. Were you able to get 38 feet, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's go to our third problem. So far, okay pa, class? Nakasabot ra?
Okay na, sir.
Okay, let's go to the third problem. A 200 feet high television transmitting tower is to be supported by a guy wire running from the ground to the top of the tower. So example, if this is our tower over here, example lang ni this is our tower. Ako lang himong stick, that's our tower. This is, how tall is the tower?
200.
So I'm gonna be placing 200 over here because that's the height of the tower. That's 200 feet. Now, na guy wire. So from the top going here, na guy wire din ha na nag-support. So we have here a guy wire from the top of the tower going to a certain point on the ground. The wire makes an angle of 63 degrees with the ground. Asa na ko ibutang si 63? Diris babaw or diris ubos?
Ubos.
Again, with the ground, 63 is here. So my question is, how long is the wire? So meaning we are looking for this. And we have another question. How far from the base of the tower must they meet the ground? So moasa ni akong gipangita usa. Ang gipangita nako is ang length sa guy wire ug ang distance from the base of the tower to the base katong bottom part sa guy wire. Okay? Now let's start with X first. If I want to solve X, what function are you gonna use? Sine, cosine, or tangent?
Sine.
Sine. Why sine? Opposite is what?
200.
200. Hypotenuse is X. So solving this, ang shortcut na ko ani class is so simple. Ako ra nang i-interchange ang X ug ang sine 63. So X is equal to 200 divided by sine 63. What is 200 divided by sine 63 equal to?
224.
224? Were you able to get 224?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's continue. Let's solve for y. If I'm going to be solving for y, what function are you going to use? Sine, cosine, or tangent? Ang gamito na ko ha si 263. Unsa man ning
Sine,
200?
sir.
Ha? What is 200, sir? Opposite, sir. What is y, sir? Adjacent. Unsa man nga function?
Tangent.
Tangent.
sir.
Tangent 63, that's right, is equal to opposite 200 over y. O interchange lang na nato si 63 tangent og si y. So y is equal to 200 divided by tangent 63. How much is that? How much is 200 divided by tangent 63?
$392, sir.
How much? Dako na kayo ng 392. 2. Yes, go on. 100?
102.
102. There you go. Nganong niingon ko dako rang 392? Awara gud ang hypotenuse na to 224. I should be looking for an answer less than this. That's one way of telling whether your answer is right or wrong. Reference na kung hypotenuse. Kang hypotenuse is the longest side. So my answer should be less than 224. Okay? Next, let's have problem number 4. A tree is struck by a lightning and snaps off 40 or 34 feet from the ground. So meaning, mao ni ang kahoy, nabali ang kahoy. Mao na ni ang kahoy, nabali. Okay. So, asa ni na ako ibutang ang 34 feet above the ground? Butangan ako letters. A, B, or C. Asa ibutang si 34 feet? Sa A. This is 34. Now, from the top part of the tree, which is 117 feet long, rest with the tip on the ground, hole broken, and end rest on the top of the stump. Asa ni nako ibutang ang 117 feet? A, B, or C? C. Kay katong top part, maumuntay na bali, so mo ni ang 117. So the question is, what angle does the top part of the tree make with the ground? Asang angle nako? Kini nga angle or kini nga angle? Ang babaw ang ubos.
Ubos.
So I'll be using this one, theta. Okay, what function are you gonna use here? Sine. So sine theta is equal to 34 opposite over the hypotenuse 117. So ang theta di ay nako is equal to sine negative 1. That's 34 divided by 117. So kindly calculate this katong nag-shift or nag-second shift or second function I mean. So you have, how much is this?
16.9.
O sige, round off lang to the nearest whole number. Pila? Round off.
16 na, sir.
Pila? Is it 16 or is it 17?
17.
17 degrees. There you go. Okay? So this will be the angle ng answer nato sa number 4. Let's go to problem number 5. A submarine starts on the surface and dives at an angle of 13 degrees to the surface. It goes diagonally at a distance of 890 meters before reaching the bottom. How deep is the water above the submarine? How deep is the water where the submarine reaches the bottom? How far is it along the ocean surface from the point where the submarine started to point directly above where it reached the bottom? So, let's draw a figure na lang diretsyo. Example, mao niya to ang triangle. There you go. This is our right triangle. A submarine starts on the surface. Diri start ang submarine. Dives at an angle 13 degrees to the surface. So meaning, if this is the surface of the water, 13 degrees ni siya. Mao ni siya ang giagian, padung ang submarine, padung ni agi dira, naabot sa base sa water. Okay? So bottom of the water, na diri ang submarine na abot. Kakuha sa problem? So gagikan ang submarine diri, ga-travel 13 degrees above the surface, below the surface I mean, and then naabot sa base sa bottom part sa water, mao ni siyang 13 degrees. Asa maning 890? Pangalan nako, A, B, or C? Asa ibutang si 890?
C, sir.
Sa C. Kay mao man ni ang diagonal distance. So this is 890. Oh, here's the question. How deep is the water before where the submarine reaches the bottom? So meaning di ay mao ni siya ang gipangita di ay nako is kini siya. Mao ni ang first gipangita si X. So let's solve for X first. Unsay gamito na ako when I solve for X? Is it sine, cosine, or tangent? Ako i-drawing og balik ang triangle. Nay 13 degrees dire. No, that's not 130, that's 13. Nay 890. Og na si X. Ang gipangita nato si X. What function are you gonna use?
Tangent.
Is it tangent? What is X? And what is 890?
Ang
Sine.
Tangent.
Okay. I'll be using sine. I'll be using sine. Kaya daraman akong hypotenuse. Hypotenuse man ni si 890. Niya, ang X kay opposite. So I'll be using sine. Sine 13 is equal to X, the opposite side, over the hypotenuse 890. So X is simply, multiply ko ni dito spikas, 890, it times na ako og sine 13. How much do you get for that? How much do you get, please? Whole number again. Nearest whole number.
200, sir.
200. Very good. 200 meters. Mao ni siya ang depth sa water. Gilaw mo 200 meters ang depth sa water. Okay? Let's go to the second problem. Letter B. How far is it along the ocean surface from the point where the submarine kiniha ang gipangita along the ocean surface nga gikan diri padung sa ubos. So meaning ang gipangita di ay nako is asa man kini nga distance si y. So meaning asa siya ga start padung diri asa siya ni end along the ocean surface. So, ang gipangita na ko si y, dara ang y. Unsay gamito na ako to solve for y? Tangent. Because this is adjacent. Oh, it's not tangent. I will not be using tangent. I'll be using what is given. Please do not use 200 in your solution. You make use of what is given, kay the answer will really matter. You make use of 890 and I will not be using tangent here. What will I use? Adjacent ug hypotenuse. Unsa na nga function?
Cosine.
Cosine. Cosine 13 degrees is equal to adjacent, which is y, over the hypotenuse, 890. Here's the thing, by the way, class. Ayaw ninyo gamita ang katong 200 kay it will matter. Gi-round off na biya ni natong 200. Ang gamito nato sa problem ang katong naa sa given. But if we don't have any other option but to use it, katong given, katong na-solve, what na tay alay option, o gamiton to nato. Pero kung natay option nga gamiton ang given sa problem, you make use of that. Because the answer will really matter. So this is, what is 890 times cosine 13? Go on, 860?
67.
That's totally right. 867 meters. O, mao ni siya ang distance, horizontal distance. Questions about problem number 5? Kasabot ra? So, it's really important nga kabalo mo analyze a problem. Let's go to problem number 6. An observer on a cliff 100 decimeters above sea level. So, meaning this is the observer. Example, this is the cliff. Naadiri, this is the height of the cliff. This is 100 or 1,000 rather. 1,000 decimeters. Mo na ang height because it is stated here above sea level. Sights to ships. So meaning na ay ship dire naasay laing ship dire. So dagat na. Then we have two angles of depression. So take note, I'm gonna be making a horizontal line. Okay, para makita na ako ang angle of depression. This one, that's one angle of depression. This one, this is another angle of depression. Now, asa na ako ibutang si 47 ug sir 32? Kay dito magpatakag butang anong 37 o 47 ug 32. The smaller the angle is, ato nimo ibutang sa smaller angle sa figure. Asa man ang 32 ana? Ang mas gamay kini ang 32, right? This is 32 degrees. This one which is the bigger angle, this is 47 degrees. So if this is 47 degrees, by the way, pilay measurement ani niya diri class? 47 pod. If this is 32, pilay measurement diri class? 32 po na siya. So I am now applying the concept about alternate interior. Okay. Find to the nearest decimeter the distance between the two ships. Meaning, ang gipangita di ay nako, sir, is kini siya, sir. Kini ang gipangita. Distance between sa duha ka ships. Now, if you will analyze this, can I solve this length? Can I solve this length? Let's name this as y. Diba we have two triangles here? Na ako'y triangle, I'm gonna draw this again. Na ako'y triangle nga 32, nya na ay 1,000 dire, nya na ay y dire. Nya human, ako ning panganlan og z. I have another triangle nga ang angle niya, sir, 47, 1,000 og si z. Kasi kakuha mo sa kundo ka triangles, dara ang usa ka triangle kini siya. Which is this one. Ang other triangle is this, kini nga triangle. Which is this one. So I will be getting y and z para ikuha na ko ni y ug z, i-minus na nako, I can get x. I cannot solve x right away without solving y and z here. So I need to solve y, I need to solve z because x is equal to y minus z. Do you get the concept? Nakasabot, class?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's continue. Let's solve y. Kung isolve na ko si y, unsa nga function ang gamiton? Tangent. Okay, let's solve y. Tangent 32 is equal to opposite 1,000 over y. So to solve y, it's equal to 1,000 divided by tangent 32. I-interchange lang na nato basta ang variable na sa ubos, ang y ug ang tangent i-exchange. O pila maning 1,000 divided by tangent 32? Whole number lang, whole number.
160.
How much?
60.
160, sir.
160
60.
or 1?
160, sir.
160. 160. What about the angle z? Unsa nga function? Sir, tangent gihapon sir. So tangent 47 is equal to 1,000 divided by z. So we have z is equal to 1,000 divided by tangent 47. Pila man ni ang z karon? Go. Ay, sorry.
932, sir.
How much?
932.
932.
32.
Sure mo nga 160 ra na class?
1,000 na siya, sir.
Aw ana ba? 1,600. Kuwangan og zero, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, there you go. So therefore, ang x di ay nako is simply 1,600, which is y minus 932. How much is 1,600 minus 932?
668.
668.
668.
O mo ni ang distance sa duha ka ship. Decimeters. Kakuha sa problem number 6.
Yeah.
Okay. So inganawon pag-solve ang problem number 6. Let's have another problem. Number 7. An observer in a lighthouse is 69 feet above the water. We have a lighthouse. Atong i-draw mo ni lighthouse example. Ang height niya is 69. He sights two boats again. Naay boat dire ug nasay boat dire. The angle of depression over here and over here. So we have this one, natay line of sight. Asa ibutang nako si 48. Kini pila ni siya nga angle? Pila ni siya nga angle? Duha man naka-angles.
48.
48 ang sa dako, ang sa gamay 22. So again is the same problem. The same problem ganiha, ang gipangita nato ang distance between the two boats. X. So we need to find z, we need x, y lang ni. And we need to find z. Okay? Now let's draw the two triangles again. So in our first triangle, pilay measurement ani niya class?
48.
48. So this is 48. This is 69. So how do we solve for z? Unahon na to si z. Tangent gihapon, right? Tangent gihapon. 48 is equal to 69 over z. Kindly solve z now, which is 69 divided by tangent 48.
62.
62. Let's go to the other triangle, which has a measure of 22. Therefore, this is 22. That's 22 degrees. And this is y. And that's 69. So it's still tangent. Tangent 22 is equal to 69 over y, which will give us y is 69 divided by tangent 22. So what is 69 divided by tangent 22?
170.
170. And we can now solve for x. What is 170 minus 62?
108.
108. O, mo ni answer nato, class. In feet. Okay, let's have another problem. A pilot flying at an altitude 12,000 feet sights two airports directly in front of him. Again, a pilot. So we have here, Saman, do we need to have this problem? This is very similar with our problem a while ago. Do we need to discuss this, or you're fine already with the two previous problems?
Ikaw bahala, sir.
Gonna ask you, kamoy magbuot kay kining problem number 8 pariharan ni siya sa problem number 6 ug sa number 7. Kay if ako ning i-drawing na adring airplane, ang height sa our airplane is 12,000. Altitude means height. Nya human nakakita siya duha ka airports, dira ang duha ka airports. Nya ang angle of depression sa usa is 78, ang usa 19. So we are having like this is 78, this is 19, and we are gonna solve the distance again of the two airports, which is x. So you need to solve y, you need to solve z here. The same process sa problem number 6 and 7 nato a while ago.